Okay, good evening, everyone. So we're back to relative clauses. We have already discussed who, whom, and whose, remember? And whose we had some quite difficult cases over here, remember? Yes. So now, let's look at the next pronoun. We still have two more pronouns, and then we begin adverbs. Okay, so we have which. Remember I told you, nowadays you can say which, like a witch, you know? Like the opposite of a wizard is a witch. Yeah. In Harry Potter you have, I think, witches. Witch. So here you pronounce it in the same way you can pronounce it witch. But in the past, even nowadays, some people may pronounce it as which, with the ha, with the H. Which, yes. Which. Not hitch. No, hitch is completely different. Okay, Sangeeta? Hitch is completely different.
How about we use wrong? Wrong, we silent the U. Only wrong.
Wrong?
Silent the U.
Sometimes the W is not pronounced, like wrong. This word, wrong. You don't pronounce wrong or something like that, right? Directly R sound. Yeah. So here you can pronounce directly the U sound of W, which, or you can pronounce this aspirated H, which. Okay, which. What also. Okay, anyways, what does which refer to? It refers to things. Remember we had this column, this is a column, and this is a row. Okay, in tables, you refer to this as a column, and this as a row. Okay? So on this second row, we had this, what it refers to. So which refers to things. We don't normally use it for people. Okay? Then we discussed two things, right? One is whether it could be subject of the relative clause or object or complement. Which person? This is the interrogative which. This is the relative which, two whiches. It's the same word, but it performs two functions. So if you're asking the question, like, which one do you want? Right? Do you want this one or this one? Which one? Then this which is not a relative pronoun. Okay? It's the interrogative. Remember this word? Interrogative. Yeah, remember sometimes I tell you to make an interrogative sentence, right? It's a question. Okay, so this which can be subject and can be object, complement. Remember? So let's look at the examples. Okay, many examples and prepare yourselves so you can make some sentences. Okay? You can directly apply. So, look, the clock, which is ticking on the table, is yellow. Okay, so we have one sentence, remember, two clauses, right, in this case. The main clause is the clock, and now what is the verb? Is yellow, yes. The clock is yellow. Now, the relative clause gives some extra information about the clock. It's a clock which is ticking on the table. You know, ticking is tick, tick, tick. The clock does like that, right? So there is a verb which is to tick. Okay? Sometimes the verb, the words in general, sometimes they come or they are formed depending on the sound of something, right? So the clock ticks. Okay? Why? Because it does tick, 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 right?
But sometimes it's also tick.
Then we say tick, because in the past it was ticking. All clocks used to tick, but nowadays the clock doesn't tick, right?
Tick, tick, still tick.
It's still ticking, no? Yeah, if you go very close, it's still ticking, no? Anyways, so the clock, which is ticking on the table, is yellow. So this relative clause over here is an adjective for clock. Remember this? Clock is a noun. And this noun in this case is the subject of the main clause. And now here what we're discussing as a subject is actually which. Which is the subject of the verb to be over here. You see? Is. Ticking. Is ticking, what is this? Is ticking. Do you remember what tense is this? Present continuous. Okay? Sankecha, pay attention to this. Is ticking. This is a verb to be, and you have a verb with ing. It's the present participle. So this is the present continuous, an action that is happening at this moment, for example.
But when like this, plural or singular refer to the clock, right?
Yes, which refers to the clock,
Yes.
and this is singular, singular.
In plural, we can
Which are, yes, yes, perfect. Which doesn't change, but the verb changes, becomes are ticking. Okay? So, which in this case is the subject. Okay? Now, next one, we have the clock, which I have just bought, is broken. Yes. So, for now, just forget about the parentheses. Parentheses. We have this main clause, the clock is broken. You see? The clock is broken, right? Then we have the relative clause, which I have just bought, right? See, it's quite similar. The clock which I have just bought is broken. But here, which is not doing the action of buying, you see? I have just bought. What tense is this? I have bought. Have bought. Present perfect. Yes, you have auxiliary verb here, have, in the present. So that's the present. And then bought is, you know, the participle, yes. Buy, bought, bought. Yes. So this bought is the second bought. Okay? And then you put just in between, you see? Between the auxiliary verb and the participle, you put just. With the present participle, we use this word just very often. Okay? So the clock, which I have just bought, in the recent past I bought it, is broken. Right? So which over here refers to the clock, but which is not doing the buying. I am doing the buying, right? So which is here the object. I have just bought the clock. So what I have bought is the object, right? You buy something, that something is the object. So here it's object of the sentence, okay? Pay attention here that the order of the words are different, right? If normal sentences go subject, verb, object, right? But here on the relative clause, you begin with the relative pronoun, you see, so it's the object, subject, and verb. Okay? So the word order changes. Okay, so it can be subject or object. Now, remember whether it's defining or non-defining? It helps you understand whether you can. Defining and non-defining sometimes will change which pronoun you will use, and sometimes it will change the commas that you will use. Okay? So this one, it can be both, you see? Remember this? Defining clause, it gives let's say an important information that specifies the noun, right? it helps you understand what you are talking about. So for example, this sentence, the object which was taken from him was a fake passport. The main sentence is the object was a fake passport, right? So the object, of course, here actually this sentence is a little strange because you are actually saying what the object is. It's a fake passport, right? But if you just pay attention to this, the object, you don't know what you are talking about. It's not specified. So the next clause specifies what object we are talking about, which was taken from him. Okay, then you understand. It's a specific object, not any object, right? So this is a defining relative clause, no commas. Remember? No commas because it's essential, it's important, so you should not separate. Now here we have the fake passport which was taken from him was destroyed. You see, I took almost the same sentence, but I changed it a bit. And I added an adjective over here, see? The fake passport. So this adjective already makes this passport already something more specific. So you know which one you're talking about, okay? So the relative clause becomes a non-defining relative clause. It modifies the passport, but it's not essential. And it just adds more information about the passport. Okay? So the fake passport, which was taken from him, was destroyed. Okay? Can be elided when it is the object of a defining clause. Okay, look at this. Let's go back. Object of a defining clause. Look at this. The object of a defining clause. Okay? This one, we haven't decided whether it's defining or non-defining. What do you think? This one, the clock which is ticking on the table is yellow. Is it defining or non-defining? Defining. Defining. And which is a subject or an object? Subject. Which is ticking, yes. Which is the subject. You cannot remove this which. You have to say which, okay? But let's take this one. The clock which I have just bought is broken. Defining or non-defining? The clock.
Define.
It's a defining as well, yes.
The object is
But which is not the subject, is the object. So this which, as an object of a defining relative clause, can be elided. So you can perfectly say the clock I have just bought is broken. And that's very common actually. The clock I have just bought, you see, is broken. Okay? So get used to this, you see? Because when you remove the switch, you could get a bit confused because you have the clock, it's like the subject, right? And then you have I. I is also another subject, but it's another clause. So it can be a bit confusing, but it's not. We understand it, okay? The clock I have just bought is broken.
If the clock many clock.
The clocks,
The color.
different color.
Yeah.
You bought many clocks of different colors, okay?
Define or non-define? If the many clock.
Many clocks. You could talk about plural and still be defining. For example, the clocks I have just bought. I have bought many clocks, for example. You could still define which clocks.
If the many but different colors, we can non-define.
If you say the red clock,
Yeah.
and we both understand what the red clock is, then it will be a non-defining. Okay, but just the clock will be a defining relative clause.
Like before, so I write the dog. If I put the plural, this is 10.
The dog,
The dog, but plural.
plural, the dogs.
This can not define thing.
No, no, the dogs can also lead to a defining relative clause. The dogs, which dogs?
Many. I put plural.
Yeah, many dogs, but I don't know which dogs.
How this different from this?
Hmm?
How about different from the clock?
Both singular or plural nouns can have a defining or non-defining relative clause. Okay? So if you say the dog, I don't know which dog. So the relative clause is probably a defining one. Unless in the context, in our conversation, we know what dog we're talking about. Okay? But if you just take this sentence by itself, the dog. Which dog? You understand? The same for dogs. The dogs. Which dogs? For example, I tell you, they are coming. You will ask me who? It's plural, but you still don't know who he is, who they is, no? Understand? Who they are or who they is, no? Yeah. Okay? So both of these. So it can be elided. So get used to this. Get used to this elision is very common. The clock I have just bought. The thing I have just said. The thing the teacher said, for example. Okay? Can you make a sentence now? Like this? With which, in which you can elide the which. So write the same sentence with and without which. Can you do that? One same sentence, but one with which and one without which. So it must be a defining clause, and which must be an object. Try. 1 minute. Tick tock, tick tock. Hmm? With which? With which? You can write over here on our chat. The air conditioner, which is working on the wall, is white. The air conditioner, which is working on the wall, is white. Okay, but it's a subject. You see? The air conditioner, okay? We say conditioner. Conditioner. Yes. The air conditioner, which is working on the wall, is white. Yes, but now try to make one with which as an object. And then you can remove that which. What which you have just said is very true. What you have just said is very true. What you have just said is very true. I would feel confident. I don't know why this, but I would say like this. The thing which you have just said is very true. The thing you just said, you have just said, is very true. But what you have just, what you have just said is very true. I think it's okay. What you have just said is very true. What which? I think this is not okay. What which? I think it's not okay. I don't know why, but I think it's not okay. The pens which, just the spelling of which, are in the bag. Ah, you're missing a verb here. Huh? Jnanadasana? Look, the pens which are, look. Here, the pens is the first clause, right? Which are in the bag is okay, perfect. And then, very expensive is like an adjective, you see? Expensive is an adjective. Very is, I think, is an adverb, right? So you need the verb here. Think of the first clause, the pens, very expensive. You need a verb, you see? The pens are very expensive. Okay? I'm using the wrong internet, wait. Yeah, Deco. Okay. The air conditioner I have just said is true. The air conditioner, which I have just said, is true. The air conditioner is true? It's a little strange. But it's correct, but it's a little strange, right? Because the air conditioner is true? The air conditioner, which I have just turned on, is not working, for example, or something like that, like, I don't know. But the structure was okay. Okay, I'll give you a thumbs up. I forgot the thumbs up, wait. The air conditioner which is working on the wall is white, thumbs up. What we do, this one, I don't know. What you have just said is very true, is very true. This sentence is perfect. This one I'm not sure. I think this is not okay. I don't know. The pens which are in the bag, here you miss the verb, which are also as a subject, okay. Try to make one as an object. The air conditioner I have just said is true, okay, but funny. The pens which are on the table are both black. The pens are both black. The pens are both black. Okay, I think it's okay, Rakita Silva. Which are on the table, yes. Is this defining or non-defining? Yes, you don't know what pens he means, right? Yes. The mental factor, good, which is attaching nature, is loba. Almost okay. The mental factor, which is attaching nature, which is, you just need, if it's a noun, nature, you just need a pronoun. Sorry, an article, which is the attaching nature, is loba. Okay? You just need this one, the pronoun. Mental factor, which is the attaching nature, is loba. Okay, thumbs up. But still as a subject. Try to make one as an object. The red color book, it's a specific object, which was bought from the shop, was lost. Good. Yes. You just need here, from the shop, the article before shop, okay? The red color book, which was bought, this is the passive, you see? Yes. Now, pay attention to this sentence. Stop for a moment. Can I remove which from this sentence? No? What do you think? The red color book was bought from shop, was lost. Can I remove it or not? You think can? Can? No?
This is
This which was bought, which refers to book, which was bought. Here you could explain it as a subject.
It's subject cannot.
Yes. As a subject you cannot. And it's a non-defining relative clause, so you cannot remove, even if it were an object. Okay? Okay? If you have this comma, this pause, this separation, you need the subject or whatever comes after. Okay? Only when everything is together you can remove that word. Okay? The computer, thumbs up. The computer which you gave me is very nice. Yes. Good. Thumbs up. You see? The computer is not a specific computer. Then you add a defining relative clause, which you gave me. And this which is an object, so you can remove it. So the computer you gave me is very nice. Okay, good. Can you make a few more with this which? I've seen many subject whiches, but I haven't seen object whiches much. I've seen one over here. This is still as a subject, which are a subject. Here, I think, yeah. This, which I have just said. Yes, this is as an object, okay. Sankicha, are you making your sentences?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't you send it over here and we can see it?
I think I'm
Not fast? Any sentences? Otherwise I continue. Someone is typing. Is anyone sending a message? Okay. Jnanadasanas. The robe which I have just colored is stolen. Yes. Is stolen. The only thing here, I think usually, for example, is stolen. Yes, okay, I understood. I was thinking in another meaning, but is stolen. Somebody stole it, and now you have it, and then you colored it, right? Yes. The robe I have just colored is stolen. Yes, perfect. Super thumbs up. The defilements which Sota already abandoned are 5 akusalas. The defilements which Sotapanna, right? Sotapanna already abandoned. They already abandoned the defilements. This is an object. Yes. Are the 5 akusalas. Okay. Just here, to be a perfect sentence, I would add like this. Sankicha sent his set. The defilements which Sota, if you just say Sota, it has to be plural. Sotapannas. And then already abandoned should be have already abandoned. Okay? Are 5 akusalas. Okay. Are 5 akusalas. Okay. So in this sentence, the defilements, we could remove which, right? The defilements Sotapannas have already abandoned are the 5 akusalas. Yes, object. Thumbs up. Let's see, Sankichas. The cake which is cooking is very delicious. Okay, the cake which is cooking. Here only one problem, Sankitra. Yes. Look, the cake is cooking. It looks like the cake is doing the action of cooking. No, the cake is being cooked. It should be passive. Should be a passive. So the cake which is being cooked, this is the passive, is very delicious. Okay? Because the cake doesn't do the action, right? Okay.
But the delicious.
Then it would be a capital.
That person is delicious.
Yes. Okay. But which is correct over here, and it's the subject. The car which he is fixing was broken. Yes. The car was broken. The car which he is fixing was broken. This one is okay. And which over here is an object, right? So, is it a defining or non-defining? Think. You have to think. Can we remove the which or not? In the beginning you have to think a lot, but it will become faster. Can, yes, you can remove this which. The car he is fixing was broken. Yes. The things which here it should be were because it's plural.
Yeah, I know, but this is, I think, singular.
No, things, no? Plural. The things.
Watu, I think watu meaning watu, right?
No.
You put S.
Things.
Yeah, I know, but because S, I think singular because watu. I translate from my language, watu.
What you don't like?
What does he mean by vatu?
Pali verse watu.
Vatu.
Can refer to many
Many,
things.
many items.
Many items is
Yeah.
singular one. Like a stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff.
Like stuff. That's uncountable stuff.
No, but I think this is singular.
But
also put the word.
thing is like countable. One thing, two things.
But
So here it's plural.
he think the word is could should be used
Mm.
be used in the that way of the stuff.
Like stuff.
Yes. Stuff.
Then it's uncountable.
Yes.
Stuff is uncountable. Then it can refer like that. Stuff. A lot of stuff. Okay? So the things which were brought, this is the passive. Sankitra is using the passive, good. Which were brought from USA. The things were lost. Were lost. Okay, so just the verbs here you have to change. And then this which, can I remove it or not? No. No. Okay, easy way is that there is a subject afterwards. You see? The car which it's a subject, you see? Normally you have this subject here, you can remove it. Okay? Last one, the black color cake. The black color cake, you can just say the black cake. Which is cooking, here again, passive, yeah, which is being cooked, was on the table. Yes, the black color cake was on the table, which is cooking. Okay, you see? And this is a specific cake, so this is a non-defining relative clause. Okay, lots of examples. The casino, which you have just focused on, is red. Good. You see the preposition at the end. Good. High level. Yes. The casino, which you have just focused on, is red. Can I remove which?
Yes.
The casino you have just focused on, yes, you can say that. The pictures which I have, okay, wait. Thumbs up. Thumbs up for Sankicha. The pictures which I have put on the wall were fall down. Just here. Were fall down. No, just fell down as an active verb. Rakitasila. They fell down. You don't need they actually. Just fell down. Okay. Were fall down. We don't use the passive like that. This verb fall is active. Active verb, okay? There is a to fell a tree, have been, yeah, no. Fall down is like this, okay? The pictures which I have put on the wall, which I have put, yes, on the wall. Remember the declension of put, right? The samatha subject, thumbs up. The samatha subject we are studying is not a little, like, is not, a little. Little. A little, right? As a noun, right? Little, because little can be like an adjective, I think. Little. I feel here.
It's many. I want to say it's many, but I don't want to say it's many. How to say it?
Was a little, right? Was not a little. Maybe it's okay. You see, as a noun, it just sounds a little strange to me.
Not a little amount.
Not a little amount. It's just a little. It was a little.
Not a little amount.
It was not a little. Yeah, it's okay. It was not a little. We would say it was not little.
It's not little.
It was not little. It does sound a little awkward to me, but I think it's okay. The samatha subject. Now look at this. The samatha subject. This is the subject, right? Of course it's the subject, right? I'm talking about grammar subject, right? Not the noun subject. It's the grammar subject, right? The samatha subject is the subject. Is not a little is the rest of the clause. Now we have here a clause we are studying, and there is no connection. So it's the samatha subject which we are studying. Yeah, the which, the relative pronoun is hidden, no? It's elided. So this is a relative clause over here. It's a defining relative clause, and which is the object. Good, enough. Lots of examples. Now look at this, which is not finished. Which can refer to a whole clause. Look at this example. He passed the exam, which gladdened everybody. What does which refer to? The exam? No. Which doesn't refer to the exam. It refers to the fact that he passed the exam. It's the whole thing. The whole situation. Do you understand? So this which refers to this whole thing over here, you see? Okay? Not to the exam. Do you understand? Make a sentence like this. This is also very important. Make a sentence with which referring to an entire clause, the entire situation. Gladdened? Gladden is to make glad, to make happy. Gladdened. Which referring to an entire clause. I'll make a sentence myself. Like this, for example. I will do something which makes you happy. No. Then which refers to something. I will do something which makes you happy. I will do something which makes you happy. No.
Always
Still refers to something. Santa Vacho.
should have comma.
I think.
Always with comma.
This one is with a comma. I think this one must have a comma. And I haven't seen any explanation whether this is defining or non-defining. But it seems like non-defining to me. This one, Santa Vacho, would say like this: I will do something which will make you happy. Yeah, it's still not very clearly referring to the whole sentence. It could refer to just something. Actually, I think there is two meanings. I will do something and this situation will make you happy. Or I will do something and that something will make you happy. So I think both senses could be okay, but in any case you need will over here, I think. Okay? He, be careful, you're using directly the participle here. He taken, you need auxiliary verb like he has taken or something like that. He has taken the food which made me hungry. This situation made you hungry, no? Yes, not the food made you hungry, right? Yes, correct. So just here, he has taken, yes. Okay. The Buddha arises in the world which made happiness for every living being. Quite good. Let me improve it. The Buddha arises in the world using the present. Okay. Arises in the world. I think it's better in the past. It could be used the present. But I think arose maybe is better. Arose in the world which made happiness. Which made happiness. Which made, you don't make happiness. You don't make happiness. Which made happiness for every living being. Which made, one way is which caused, which brought happiness for every living being. Singular. When you say every, then you use the singular. Okay? Every living being. Which brought happiness for every living being. And I think for is okay, but I would normally say to, I think. Which brought happiness to every living being. You bring something to someone. Yes, to is better. For is in the place of. Okay? For is in the place of someone. Let's see the next one. The phone was broken, which will made me upset. Okay, it's correct. Just the tense is not correct. The phone was broken, okay, in the past, which this should be also in the past, made me upset. The phone was broken, which made me upset. Not in the past, which will make, if you use will, then it should be make. Will make, but here it doesn't make sense, the future tense, okay? So which made me in the past as well. Murder killed the son, which saddened parents. Okay, articles only. The murderer or a murderer, and then the person who murders is a murderer. Murderer, okay? Murder is the crime. And murderer is the one who does the crime. Okay? So, a murderer or the murderer killed the son, which saddened the parents. Okay? But good, which is used perfectly here. You see, it refers to this situation. Good. 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 He tried hard work, which earned a lot of money. Okay, almost okay. He tried hard work. He tried hard work, which earned a lot of money. Okay. He tried working hard. He tried working hard. He tried hard work. Hard work means is a work which is difficult.
But we can use because is it adjective verb now?
Yes, but hard work, it sounds like that type of work is very difficult to do. It doesn't mean that you work hard. It doesn't talk about effort. It's talking about the work itself being difficult to do. He tried work? No. He tried working as a verb, or he tried to work. If you're using work as a noun, it's okay, but he tried either working hard. Yeah, just here a few problems with the ing or infinitive. He tried working hard, and you need a comma, okay? You need a comma, which earned him a lot of money. You need him, okay? Which earned him a lot of money. Okay, I have to go maybe a little faster, right? Enough, no? If you wanna, you can write your sentences, later I correct them. Let's continue, otherwise it's a bit too slow.
Which way we can easily know about defined or non-defined?
Defining or non-defining? Yeah, this is why we have all these examples. You have to try to figure it out. The noun that it refers to is already specific. It's already clear. That's one way. If you're just reading, there should be commas. If there are commas, it's non-defining. But if you're writing, you don't know, right? Yeah, so it's more important when you're writing to understand, no? And for example, that we're going to discuss now, that can only be defining. So if you see that, it's defining. If you see which, it could be defining or non-defining. You just have to identify whether it's whether the noun it refers to is already specific or not specific. That's how you understand. Okay, let's discuss that. That is a word that is quite confusing in English. It's very common. It has many functions. Let's look over here. That, pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, adjective, relative pronoun, conjunction, adverb, something else. Okay, several functions, okay? That. So here is the relative that, relative pronoun that, okay? It refers to people or things. People or things. Also animals. And it can be subject or object, okay? Let's look at the example. As a subject, I called the doctor that had helped me in the past. Okay, here you can review a little bit the tense, you see. I called the doctor. I called the doctor that had helped me in the past. So this clause is complete, you see. The relative clause is not talking about the subject. Many of our examples were talking about the subject, right? So it was in the middle. This relative clause is not in the middle of the other clause. It's over here afterwards. Okay? Right? Relative clauses can go after any noun. Sometimes it's the subject, sometimes it's an object or a complement, right? Okay. So I call the doctor, okay. Now this doctor is not specific, you see, Bante. I call the doctor. I don't know which doctor you're talking about. Yeah, the doctor. You don't know which doctor.
Mr. Lee.
Yeah. If I tell you, I call the doctor, if I tell I call the doctor, you would ask me, which doctor? You understand? So I call the doctor. Now I'm going to talk about the doctor that had helped me in the past. That here is a relative pronoun, you see, introducing this relative clause. Is it a subject or an object? Subject, right? Yes, it refers to doctor. The doctor that had helped me, so that here is the subject. That had helped me. What type of tense is this? Past perfect. Yes, you have had in the past and then the participle. Yes, past perfect. Why am I using past perfect? You use past perfect most of the time to talk about an action in the past, but it happened before another action in the past. So what is the other action in the past? Called. Right? If you have a timeline, this is a timeline. This is now. Okay? In the past, I called him. Here, I called. You see? I called. And now, so for that called, I use simple past. But now I want to talk about something that happened before the calling. He had helped me. So the helping happened before the calling, you see? Do you understand? So you use the past participle to talk about this in relation to this. Okay? So I called the doctor that had helped me in the past as a subject, right? Defining clause. Now as an object, I call the doctor that I had met the other day, you see, that I had met, the day before. Again here, the relative clause is after the main clause, you see. I called the doctor is the same, but now that I had met, this is the object. You meet someone, right? So the subject here is I. I is the subject, subject. And that is the object. Right? Is this defining or non-defining? Defining. Yes. Now look at this. Defining or non-defining, Bhante? The teacher, you see? The teacher that I took dependence from is very knowledgeable, okay? So look at this, the relative clause is talking about the teacher, right? That I took dependence from. This is the relative clause. So this is the relative pronoun, and I is the subject, so that is the object, okay? And this relative clause, entire relative clause, refers to teacher. This teacher is a non-specific teacher. You don't know which teacher. You see? It's not a specific teacher. You understand? This is what you have to catch. So this is a defining relative clause. It's explaining who the teacher is. Okay? So this is a defining relative clause. And you see the preposition is at the end. Right? If you took this sentence, okay, how would this sentence be? Just the relative clause in a normal order. I took dependence from the teacher. You see? So now you take this, the teacher, you substitute for that, right? I took dependence from that, right? And then as a relative clause you put in the beginning, you see, that I took dependence from. So the word order changes. Okay?
But that is object.
That is object.
But they put blue collar.
Blue collar is part of the relative clause. Doesn't mean is a subject. The blue collar I'm always using right now for the relative clause. That is the object, I is the subject, took is the verb, okay? Okay. Now look at this one. My dad. My dad is specific. There's no many dads. My dad. It's quite clear who I'm talking about. My dad.
Two dads.
Yes. No, I don't have two dads, right? My dad. You see, there is an adjective here. My dad. Right? My dad. You know, it's clear who I'm talking about. So now I have, my dad is a pilot. Okay, it's a relative clause. So because this is specific, this relative clause would be a non-defining relative clause. You cannot use that for a non-defining relative clause. You cannot say, my dad, that is a pilot. No. Which is a pilot? Oh, sorry. Who is a pilot? Who over here? Who is a pilot? Yes. Okay? My dad, who is a pilot. Yes.
Can we sort again? Is a pilot. Is always traveling. Who is?
You cannot remove the pronoun who because it's a non-defining relative clause. Only defining relative clauses, for you to remove the pronoun, it must be a defining relative clause and you must be an object. And here it's a non-defining and it's a subject. So double no. Double no. Okay? So here the relative clause, the main clause is my dad is always traveling. And the relative clause is who is a pilot. Okay? Should be who, not that. Be careful with this one. Let's see some extra info. Can substitute who, whom, which, when. Okay. Can, you understand? No, it's just a short way of writing. This pronoun can substitute who, whom, which, even we'll see when. Okay? It is more informal, much more common. Used when we're talking, we use that very commonly. And it's also very common after quantifiers. So quantifiers, I think maybe, I don't know if we have discussed about quantifiers, but I put them here. Here, quantifiers are these words like all, every or everything, something, anything, nothing, none, little, few, much, only. They say how much of something, right? These words, they appear before a noun and they say how much of the noun, right? So they are quantifiers. So quantifiers. So you use that with quantifiers, okay? For example, I put an example here. Is this all that is left? You see? Is this all? This is the quantifier, all that is left. This is a question. So far we haven't used questions, mostly as examples, but they could be also questions, okay? Is this all that? You could say, is this all which is left? But it's a little awkward, a little strange. Most common is that is left, okay? Superlatives. Also, we use that with superlatives. Remember superlatives? What are superlatives? Yeah, remember adjectives, we have the normal adjective. For example, good. Then you have the comparative, better. And then you have the superlative, the best. Yes. So, it's the best movie that I've ever seen. You see? That. You use that after the superlative. The best movie that I've ever seen. It's the best movie which I've ever seen. Maybe it's okay, but it's normally that. Okay, this is why I put this here. It's the most common, very common. The best movie that, okay, not which. Okay? Now, please make a sentence, no? With that. Can you make a sentence with that? And please include one sentence without that. Can you do it? A sentence with a hidden that. Then you make another sentence with any way you want with that as a relative pronoun. The Dhamma talk of the Buddha, which made Sariputta Thera got enlightenment. No. You see any problem? What is the problem? You don't know? The Dhamma talk of the Buddha, there is no verb over here, you see? This is a huge subject. So it's like the subject, the Dhamma talk of the Buddha. What? Did what? Or was what? You understand? So the Dhamma talk of the Buddha, which made Venerable Sariputta Thera, made him get enlightenment. Made him get. Infinitive, get, not got. You don't conjugate the infinitive. So which made, the past is over here, made, you see? Yeah, Sariputta Thera get enlightenment, then you must continue, you see? The Dhamma talk of the Buddha was delivered in Where did it happen? Do you know? Where did, was delivered by Venerable Assaji, right? Assaji, no?
That is Sotapanna.
Ah, okay. You're talking about the other.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, you need to continue the first sentence, you see? The Dhamma talk of the Buddha, it's not a complete clause. Okay?
Should be one sentence, one clause.
Huh?
Should be one clause.
The relative clause must be together with a main clause. The clause must have at least a subject and a verb. The wholesome deeds are which make people happy. Just this is incomplete. The main clause is incomplete. Rakita Sila. The wholesome deeds, that's the subject. They are, that's the verb. But they are what? You need to put something like an adjective or maybe another noun complement. For example, the wholesome deeds are the wholesome deeds are actions yeah, the wholesome deeds are I don't know how to help you here. The wholesome deeds are, yes, here you're lacking like an adjective. Yeah, this sentence was not very good, okay? Rakita Sila. Which made people happy is kind of okay. It's more like the main sentence is not okay, okay? The book that I borrowed from you is very fun. Yeah, it's very fun. The book that I borrowed from you is very fun. You see, the book is a non-specific, not specific noun. So this is a defining relative clause, and that is an object. So you can elide that. The book I borrowed from you is very fun. Fun is an interesting word. Huh? Fun is an interesting word because it's like a noun, especially it was a noun. Then it started being used as an adjective. But we don't normally say funner, funnest, right? Like we don't say that. So it's a bit of a strange word, like kind of we can use it like this as an adjective. It's very fun. Yes. He met the monk that had preached Dhamma to me in the last week. Okay, you can remove in. You can just say last week. Okay? He met the monk that had preached Dhamma. Yes. This is subject of the relative clause. You see, you cannot remove that over here. Try to make one that you can remove. This one was okay. Try now to make one that you can remove. The sentence that you wrote is not correct. The sentence, subject, that you wrote is the relative clause is not correct. Okay.
Correct or not correct?
And then, could you remove this that or not?
Can.
The sentence is correct. Can you remove that or not?
Can.
Yes. The sentence you wrote is not correct. Okay?
Not correct. This is not correct.
Okay? The elephants that I see in the forest are very big. Yes. Okay. This one, can you remove that or not? Can I say the elephants I see in the forest are very big? Can, yes. You see, I think the easiest way is to think of the subject over here, you see? Okay? If there is this subject over here, you can kind of remove it most of the time. The São Vega that refers to Espanha. The São Vega that, okay, that refers to, you're missing here, the São Vega that, and then São Vega doesn't refer to something, no?
No, I mean like a factor of the São Vega word refer to the mental factor or cetasika. This the Dhamma like.
Yes, what is São Vega? It's Jnana. It's Panya.
No, sometimes Panya, sometimes Hikri, like this, sometimes dosa.
Okay, yes, okay. São Vega could be Jnana, could be Dosa,
Yeah.
could be Ottappa, Hiri?
Yeah.
I don't remember this. Okay, I think it was Ottappa, but. So the São Vega that refers to, so you're using that refers, you're saying São Vega refers to, yeah, you would have to say that refers to Panya, but then the sentence is incomplete. Bante, okay, this a little difficult. Maybe look at this. The São Vega is the beginning of the main clause, right? We have Nisaya, right? Later I correct your sentence, okay? The São Vega that refer, for example, one way of fixing it, the São Vega that he refers to is Panya. This is one way of writing it. You need a subject over here, you see?
Like a story, the Palita story.
Or the São Vega that refers to Panya is 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 the most common one, for example. Huh?
It refers to we put the comma can or not?
No. No comma. It's a defining relative clause with that, no comma.
Can you stress it?
The São Vega that is referred to as Panya, but then you have to continue the main clause.
Like that. The São Vega is refers to.
São Vega refers to something, or São Vega is referred to. Yes? Both could be.
Is Panya.
Both could be, yes. Okay, good. We have finished that. So we have finished all the relative pronouns so far, okay? Very nice.